Hi boys and girls, welcome back to Mr. Brakefield Reads. This is our 7th video now, I think, and we will probably get to video 8 before the end of the book, The Twits. When we've done with The Twits, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an extra special video next week, which will be a bit of a look back at the book, but I won't give too much away about that now, but it should be pretty good, hopefully. And yeah, so thank you so much for everybody who's supporting the channel. I don't mind if one person watches my videos. I'd love many more people to watch, but I don't mind if one person watches it and enjoys it. But I'm happy to know from the messages that I've had so far that there are many more watching every week. Keep tuned to the channel. As I keep saying, I am uploading videos each week now, after that 1 week when I didn't upload any at all. So yeah, we're back on track. But thank you for all the messages that I've had, actually, because they just make me feel so happy. It makes me feel so good to see that people are enjoying what I'm doing. I'm doing this because I enjoy it, actually. It's difficult sometimes to be able to put the videos on and to record them, but I enjoy doing this, okay? So I want you to enjoy it too. Anyway, in the book we were up to the part where Mr. and Mr. Twit had gone to town to buy guns. They'd gone to town to buy guns because the birds, who usually would fly down onto the branches of the tree and sit on that sticky glue that Mr. Twit put on, they had found out what was happening. And they found out what was happening because this mysterious bird, the roly-poly bird from Africa, had told them and warned them. And he'd only warned them because Muggle Wump, the monkey, had told him what was happening. So anyway, the Twits are in a bit of a pickle at the moment because they can't get birds for their bird pie, and Mr. Twit loves bird pie day. So we're going to find out what happens next. They've gone into town to get the guns, but in the meantime, Muggle Wump has an idea. And let's find out what the idea is. As soon as Mr. and Mrs. Twit had disappeared down the road, the monkeys all flipped back onto their feet the right way up. "Quick, get the key!" Muggle Wump called out to the roly-poly bird, who was still sitting on the roof of the house. "What key?" shouted the roly-poly bird. "The key to the door of our cage," cried Muggle Wump. "It's hanging on a nail in the workshop. That's where he always keeps it." The roly-poly bird flew down and came back with the key in his beak. Muggle Wump reached a hand through the bars of the cage and took the key. He put it into the lock and turned it. The door opened. All 4 monkeys leapt out together. "We're free!" cried the little ones. "Where shall we go, Dad? Where shall we hide?" "Don't get excited," said Muggle Wump. "Calm down, everyone. Before we escape from this beastly place, we have one very important thing to do." "What?" they asked him. "We're going to turn those terrible Twits upside down." "We're going to what?" they cried. "You must be joking, Dad." "I'm not joking," Muggle Wump said. "We're going to turn both Mr. and Mrs. Twit upside down with their legs in the air." "Don't be ridiculous," the roly-poly bird said. "How can we possibly turn those 2 maggoty old monsters upside down?" We can, cried Muggle Wump. "We are going to make them stand on their heads for hours and hours, perhaps forever. Let them see what it's like for a change." "How?" said the roly-poly bird. "Just tell me how." Muggle Wump laid his head on one side, and a tiny twinkling little smile touched the corner of his mouth. "Now and again," he said, "but not very often, I have a brilliant idea. This is one of them. Follow me, my friends, follow me." There he is, setting to work on his plan. But how is this plan going to come off, I wonder? He scampered off towards the house, and the 3 of the monkeys and the roly-poly bird went after him. "Buckets and paintbrushes," cried Muggle Wump. "That's what we want next. There are plenty in the workshed. Hurry up, everyone. Get a bucket and a paintbrush." Inside Mr. Twit's workshed, there was an enormous barrel of hug-tight sticky glue, the stuff he used for catching birds. "Fill your buckets," Muggle Wump ordered. We are now going into the big house. Mrs. Twits had hidden the key to the front door under the mat, and Muggle Wump had seen her doing it, so it was easy for them to get in. In they went, all 4 monkeys, with their buckets of sticky glue. Then came the roly-poly bird, flying in after them, with a bucket in his beak and a brush in his claw. The great glue painting begins. This is the living room, announced Muggle Wump. The grand and glorious living room where those 2 fearful, frumptious freaks eat bird pie every week for supper. Please don't mention bird pie again, said the roly-poly bird. It gives me the shudders. We mustn't waste time, cried Muggle Wump. Hurry up, hurry up. Now the first thing is this. I want everyone to paint sticky glue all over the ceiling. Cover it all. Smear it in every corner. Over the ceiling? They cried. Why the ceiling? Never mind why, shouted Muggle Wump. Just do as you're told and don't argue. But how do we get up there? They asked. We can't reach. Monkeys can reach anywhere, shouted Muggle Wump. He was in a frenzy of excitement now, waving his paintbrush and his bucket and leaping all over the room. Come on, jump on the table, stand on the chairs, hop on each other's shoulders. Roly-poly can do it flying. Don't stand there gaping. We have to hurry. Don't you understand that? Those terrible twits will be back any moment, and this time they'll have guns. Get on with it, for heaven's sake, get on with it. And so the great blue painting of the ceiling began. All the other birds who had been sitting on the roof flew in to help, carrying paintbrushes in their claws and beaks. So there they are. That's all the activity going on in the living room of the Twits. But what on earth is the plan? Putting glue on the ceiling. I wonder what's going to happen. There were buzzards, magpies, rooks, ravens, many more. Everyone was splashing away like mad, and with so many helpers the job was soon finished. There are all the different types of birds all flying around in Mr. and Mrs. Twits' living room, getting that hug-tight glue onto the ceiling. Next chapter, the carpet goes on the ceiling. What next? They all said, looking at Muggle Wump. Aha! Cried Muggle Wump. Now for the fun. Now for the greatest upside-down trick of all time. Are you ready? We're ready, said the monkeys. We're ready, said the birds. Pull out the carpet, shouted Muggle Wump. Pull this huge carpet out from under the furniture and stick it on the ceiling. On the ceiling? Cried one of the small monkeys. But that's impossible, Dad. I'll stick you to the ceiling if you don't shut up, snapped Muggle Wump. He's dotty, they cried. He's balmy, he's batty, he's nutty, he's screwy, he's wacky, cried the roly-poly bird. Poor old Muggles has gone off his wump at last. Oh, do stop shouting such rubbish and give me a hand, said Muggle Wump, catching hold of one corner of the carpet. Pull your nitwits, pull! The carpet was enormous. It covered the entire floor from wall to wall. It had a red and gold pattern on it. It is not easy to pull an enormous carpet off the floor when the room is full of tables and chairs. Pull! Yelled Muggle Wump. Pull, pull, pull! He was like a demon hopping around the room and telling everyone what to do. But you couldn't blame him. After months and months of standing on his head with his family, he couldn't wait for the time when the terrible Twits would be doing the same thing. At least that's what he hoped. With the monkeys and the birds all pulling and puffing, the carpet was dragged off the floor and finally hoisted up onto the ceiling. And there it stuck, all at once. The whole ceiling of the living room was carpeted in red and gold. The furniture goes up. Now the table! The big table! Shouted Muggle Wump. Turn the table upside down and put a dollop of sticky glue on the bottom of each leg. Then we shall stick that onto the ceiling as well. Hoisting the huge table upside down onto the ceiling was not an easy job, but they managed it in the end. Will it stay there? They cried. Is the glue strong enough to hold it up? It's the strongest glue in the world, Muggle Wump replied. It's the special bird-catching, bird-killing glue for smearing on trees. Please, said Rolly-Bird, I have asked you before not to mention that subject. How would you like it if it was monkey pie they made every Wednesday and all your friends had been boiled up and I went on talking about it? I do beg your pardon, said Muggle Wump. I'm so excited, I hardly know what I'm saying. Now the chairs, do the same with the chairs. All the chairs must be stuck upside down to the ceiling and in their right places. Oh, do hurry up, everybody. Any moment now, those two filthy freaks are going to come rushing in with their guns. The monkeys, with the birds helping them, put their right places. Oh, do hurry up, everybody. Any moment now, those two filthy freaks are going to come rushing in with their guns. The monkeys, with the birds helping them, put glue on the bottom of each chair leg and hoisted them up to the ceiling. Now the smaller tables, shouted Muggle Wump, and the big sofa, and the sideboard, and the lamps, and all the tiny little things, the ashtrays, the ornaments, and that beastly plastic gnome on the sideboard. Everything, absolutely everything, must be stuck to the ceiling. It was terribly hard work. It was especially difficult to stick everything onto the ceiling in exactly its right place. But they got it done in the end. What now? Asked the roly-poly bird. He was out of breath and so tired he could hardly flap his wings. Now the pictures, cried Muggle Wump. Turn all the pictures upside down. And will one of you birds please fly out onto the road and watch to see those frumptious freaks are coming back? I'll go, said the roly-poly bird. I'll sit on the telephone wires and keep guard. It'll give me a rest. And that is the end of that for now. So we should be finished next time we meet, which should be on Sunday. So until then, happy reading. Have fun in the sun if you can. But remember, stay at home. It's very, very important at the moment to stay at home. Okay. So, good night all.